Hey, yo. We're not going to let the music run too long because we got a packed show today, man. We kind of got into this thing after the show last week. But yeah, man, Toughest Balls is back on this March 5th, nice sunny day. Freezing here in Connecticut. Well, with the wind chill, it feels like 10 degrees. So, but at least we got the sun, that's all. Right now, got the freaking Puerto Rican in the building.
Yes, sir.
And yeah, man, we're gonna touch on a few things today. We're gonna touch on some topics in the NBA, the NFL. Did you check out the Canelo fight? Because I didn't get a chance to. So did you check?
Yeah, I caught the last two rounds, which was nonsense. But
I wasn't even interested in the fight, and I tried to find it afterwards, so I couldn't find it. So I'll let you chime in on then.
All right.
With that, and then we got preview of UFC coming up this weekend.
Ooh.
Got the GOAT Amanda Nunes. She's going at it. And a man that wants to be a GOAT, Isreal Adesanya. That's my guy. He got a mouth on him, but that's my guy.
That man's into some voodoo stuff, man. Yo, I don't know what he did, what he's drinking, or what, man.
Yo, I like him, but he talks big. He talks big. So yeah, man.
Back it up, Marcus. You can back it up.
Yeah, we got a couple side notes too. I had to let Randy know that Shaquille O'Neal got in the wrestling ring and actually wrestled. I couldn't believe that. And of course,
for money, huh?
Shaq, he just want to be everywhere. He definitely don't need the money. He got the general insurance. He's got this. He's got that.
He got a lot of stuff going on.
So and then plus he's on TNT. But yeah, man. And then the NBA All-Star.
Ready for it.
They're doing it all in one day. Everything in one day. The slam dunk skills challenge and everything, 3-point challenge, and then later on the game. So guess that makes the environment safer. So yeah, man, we got a lot to get into, man. But first, we get it into. Listen. Randy hit me up right before showtime, already ready for this topic. We're going at it. I think it was last Friday we were going at it about this because we starting with the NBA, and first we're starting with, should Kobe become the new logo? Because a lot of people are talking about this and they're advocating for it. And if this was years ago when I was younger, because I could say I've never been a Kobe fan, I would have been like, no. But what I'm counting is everything he did on the court, with Shaq, without Shaq, and the man he became as he became an adult, because we saw Kobe grow up from a boy. He was 17 years old. We seen him all those years, and then he had some controversy along, and then he brought it back to the court. When you win, people forget about stuff you did. But yeah, you ask me now, I will say, yeah, just because when you talk about this day and age, I think no one knows who Jerry West is. And when you when you go watch him play, the play was so different back then. You know what I mean? The play was so different. So I'm looking at it athletic and what Kobe did on the court, when it comes to stats. So that's what I'm calling. I say yes, they should change it to Kobe. But someone thinks no. Someone said no.
No, it shouldn't be changed, Marcus. No. And if we are going to change it, if you just want to go by stats and go by what he did on the court and not off the court, let's put Kareem. I mean, you want stats? We can put Kareem up there. NBA's leading scorer. No riffs about him off the court or on the court. Backed up the Black Panther movement back in the 60s with Ali and them. You know what I'm saying? Changed the game of basketball. That's the second thing, because there was no dunking allowed in college when Jabbar went to college. So if you want to put somebody on there that has, I mean, we can give Kobe an award. Let's give him like they did Roberto Clemente when Roberto Clemente died in the plane crash. They gave him the Roberto Clemente Award. Let's give him we can do a Walter Payton Award. Let's do that like the NFL does. But as far as the logo is concerned, either you keep it the way it is, because Jerry West was an ambassador for the NBA, or we can even put LeBron in the conversation after LeBron's gone. LeBron off the court, he's been great. No cheating on his wife, no nothing, helping the schools, helping the community, opening his mouth where it's supposed to be open because he's got a platform. We can even consider LeBron. But as far as Kobe's concerned, yeah, he was a great Laker. Yeah, he had stats. Yeah, he did it without Shaq, so forth and so on. But if you're going to represent the NBA and we're just going to talk about his court stuff and not off his court stuff, which he settled, mind you, nah, I don't think that's the way to go. The NBA is doing it right. If that was me, I'd keep it the Jerry West logo. If I was to change it, I would either change it to Kareem or in the future, change it to LeBron.
I understand what you're saying with the LeBron thing, but I'm thinking like, okay, you say Kareem, but the NBA wasn't really promoting the game like they do today back then. You know what I mean? It was on tape delay.
It was different times.
Yeah, it was different time. It was different time. The league was, more grittier because they were on tape delay. So fights and, all that.
So let me ask you a question, Marcus. I had a guy at the barbershop. We were discussing a little topic, and he told me, so you think the athletes of then couldn't play in the NBA today?
No, they could. I'm just saying it wasn't a product that was a worldwide product like it is now.
Well, that was because of the skin color back then. We have to throw that in. Come on now, Marcus.
I mean, we're gonna be real and say,
we real. This is tough as balls. We keep it real. We don't mess around. We keep it real.
That's part.
The diversity that is now compared to the diversity that was then goes a long way. So, I mean, yeah. I mean, the logo's old. Jerry West is old. So forth and so on. Blah blah blah. But if you look at it from a standpoint, like I said, if we want someone on the logo that's hasn't been in trouble, that's doing stuff for the community.
you're talking about on the court and character. That's what you're saying.
Of course. Character. Because then somebody's gonna look at Kobe, and you always got those haters. There's always those haters down there. There's non-sayers that'll say, yeah, but wasn't he convicted of this? Didn't he settle of that? And you're not gonna get that with Kareem, or you're not gonna get that with LeBron. So yeah. See, that's what I'm looking at.
The whole thing with Kobe, man, it's tough because I'm just going to say, from what the record says, that the person that claimed he did what he did is not an innocent person. You know what I mean?
True.
As a person kind of scandalous, and they saw dollars. They saw dollars, and to move on. Kobe settled, and remember he bought his wife that huge diamond. Remember he was on TV.
Sorry, honey.
Yeah, he was on. Remember it was a press conference. He was on TV crying, and
he did admit to the adultery.
He admitted. He admitted to. Okay. A lot of
Kareem hasn't admitted to any of that.
A lot of athletes.
At least he was real.
You know what I mean? That was it's a different. I don't know how it is now, but that was a different time. That's why Magic ended up how he ended up. Because
yes, we're gonna keep it real with him too. He know what he was doing.
You know what I mean? The women loved him, but
and he loved them. You know what he was doing.
But you look at even people like I think they kind of you gotta. I don't mean you should forget, but I think you definitely should forgive, especially when he was younger. He was a lot younger then, you know what I mean? So he made a mistake. A lot of people say make it Jordan, but Nike is tied in and with that, so that's
well, we can't
that's
put
never
Michael
gonna
on there
happen.
too because Michael's has gambling debts. He has a lot of things going on off the court issues too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, once again, we come back to the point where Michael Jordan was a great basketball player, no doubt. One of the
You
greatest.
got to think about the modern era. You go if people say you say Kareem.
Yes.
People go, kids, they're not going to go back and watch Kareem highlights. People still watching Jordan highlights and Kobe. When kids shoot the ball, they say, when I was younger, they used to say, you like Jordan when you make a shot. Now they say Kobe. They say Kobe when they shoot. You know what I mean? So he's transcended. This was when he was alive. This was going on while he was alive. So he kind of transcended the game when you see someone changing the culture like that, when kids just use, when they taking a shot and they're in their yard or they're at practice, at basketball practice, and they make the shot and they say, or they go for the shot and they say Kobe. That you kind of transcend the game when you're at that point.
Well, let's not forget too that these people never saw the great ones play in the back in the day, like I did. I watched Kareem come up. Yeah, so when Kareem came into the NBA, I wanted to do the sky hook. I was like, wow, that's a great shot.
I remember as a kid.
Let me do that.
Yes, I like.
Right? And then when Dr. J came flying into the NBA with the Sixers from the Nets, I wanted to dunk. I wanted to go around and dunk the basketball. As a matter of fact, I lowered my hoop to like 6 feet, 7 feet, so I can jam at 12 years old, 10 years old to jam like the Dr. J.
Well, so, that's why Jordan transcended the game, because people saw evolved Dr. J. That's what they're like, oh my God.
There wouldn't be no Michael Jordan without Dr. J.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So that's why Jordan kind of went to become the megastar he became, because everybody's like, oh my God, it's almost like Dr. J is back, but he's more athletic than Dr. J. You know what I mean? I remember watching those highlights.
Dr. J can play in today's league.
Oh, definitely. Oh, definitely. Go watch some
Dr. J in his prime.
Go watch some Dr. J highlights. Some of the stuff he was doing, they're doing today.
Listen, I can name Dr. J can play in today's game. Yeah. Larry Bird. Larry Bird will score about 50 a game, 40 a game.
Yeah,
on anybody. I don't care who's guarding him, because he had a jump shot.
Yeah.
Those guys, Magic, a 6'10" point guard. You got Ben Simmons, who's a 6'10" point guard, right? Nowhere near better than Magic Johnson.
No, the only person you can pass wise, and to me, he's not even good as Magic, is LeBron James. LeBron James is a good passer, but what we saw Magic do live?
No. Showtime.
You won't ever see a player like that unless there's a miracle happen and some kid comes up and becomes some Magic Johnson like athlete. I don't know, but man.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be mad at if they were to change. I know Jerry West looks at Kobe like a son, so I know he wouldn't be mad at it.
No, he wouldn't be mad at all. No, he wouldn't be mad.
But I get what you're saying when you talk about.
But we can give him an award, Marcus. We can give him an award. We can give him the Walter Payton Award, or the Roberto Clemente Award, or the Thurman Munson Award.
Or like the Bill Russell, or like the Bill Russell.
We'll set up an award for him. Yeah, we'll set up an award for him. But as far as the NBA logo, either you keep it the way it is, or you add one of, well, for me would be Jabbar, would be one of the greatest basketball players ever. And maybe to me, and not to other people, because other people didn't see him play, be the GOAT.
Yeah, stat wise, he's still on that the top of the scoring list. So I get what you're saying, man. We could talk about this the whole show, but we got a lot of.
Me and you gonna talk about it afterwards.
We're gonna continue this. When the show's over, but yeah, man, we got that's I think that's a hot topic, and everybody chimed in on that. So I'm like, we definitely need to talk about the whole situation with the logo, and should be changed. And what else I want to talk about in the NBA? It happens to be about both our teams, in the East.
Whoa.
The Knicks and the Celtics.
Got a win last night, baby. Both of us got a win last night.
A good win. And I posed the question. I said, who will end the season with a better record, the Knicks or the Celtics?
Celtics. I mean, the Knicks are my team. The Knicks are my team.
What are they? They're 6 right now, right?
They're having a great year so far. I mean, they're in the fifth.
Boston fourth. Yeah,
Boston's fourth. Boston. Yeah. But let's take it into consideration that the Celtics have been playing at the beginning of the season with a hurt Kemba. Kemba's healthy now.
Oh, he looks good, man. Yeah.
Kemba's doing his thing. Yeah. So I think that's what pushes them, the Celtics, over the top of the Knicks. The Knicks are still young. They're still learning. Yeah. They got a good defensive coach. Tom Thibodeau's a great defensive coach. Yeah. And that's why they're winning games. And Julius Randle now understands that he can make other players around him better.
Okay.
So
I need to check out some Knicks.
I think the difference right now, then you got the Jason Tatum factor. I mean, Jason Tatum is all world. But like I said, we've spoken before about the Celtics, man. They're good. They just ain't good enough. They still need that middle guy.
They need a middle guy, and they got one. And that's Robert Williams, and he's
not too bad.
He blocks shots, man. I mean,
he's not too bad. When he gets in there, he's not too bad.
He blocks multiple shots. You can catch him with the alley. You know, he's such a good defender. The rebounds, but when it comes to when you talk about the playoffs, I think you're gonna need somebody else. And I just think, Tristan Thompson, he's okay, but he's not that go-to, and he's older now. He's older now, and it's like
you get a Drummond over there. And rumor has it, I've seen some rumors going around in the NBA that the Knicks were finalizing a deal to acquire Drummond.
Yeah, I remember you were telling me that.
So it hasn't gone through. Blake Griffin still's not playing. They're gonna either get him out of his contract or trade him. That hasn't happened yet. He's still out there. So there's still a couple of players that are out there that can make a playoff run with a team that can make it very interesting.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see what happens.
Oh man, it's going to be a good season now. They're back in the arenas and there's no bubble, and it's so even though there aren't many fans, some of the teams have a few fans, maybe 1,500, 2,000. They just see them good. It's just good to see them back in the arenas, and let's see what goes down this All-Star weekend, man. I'm
excited. I'm gonna watch it. Watch it. I'm excited about that. See, a couple of my Knicks are in the dunk contest and in the skills contest. And Julius Randle, of course, my Knick this year, my guy, is in the All-Star team. So I mean, it should be fun. But you know what? I'd rather the NBA All-Star go back to the original format, East versus West.
That's what I said, dude. I got chewed out. I commented on Instagram on one of the NBA pages, and I got chewed out. Oh no one wants that. And I'm like, no, we do want that. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
that's tradition. They're like, oh, the East will get destroyed if they went back to that. I don't
care. East will get destroyed.
Yeah, that's what people are saying.
Just Durant.
I'm like Durant, Kyrie,
Harden, and Kyrie. Just those three alone.
Giannis. Oh, for real?
Yeah, Tatum, Randall, Trae Young.
That's what I'm saying.
It would be a good game. Don't get me wrong, but
I'm like, you ain't getting destroyed. Like,
and you might not even win. Those guys might just beat the West outright themselves.
You see Trae Young, he shoot those threes like Curry. So I'm like,
listen, you would have on the East team, right? Let's say you'd have Jason Tatum, Embiid, Giannis, right?
Yeah.
Randall, Adebayo from Miami.
Yep.
Simmons, maybe.
Thank you.
Harden, Kyrie.
You said Joel Embiid.
Kemba might make that squad too if he's healthy.
You said Joel Embiid.
I mean, you got a lot of good players there.
That's what I'm saying. You said Joel Embiid.
Joel Embiid. Oh yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
hey, he's having an MVP right now. Marcus Embiid is the MVP of the league right now. He's the MVP right now, hands down. Right now,
he's a big man. He can hit the three. He can handle the ball. He can shoot the mid range. He can go and dunk. His footwork is almost on Elijah Wan level, and he's Shaq's size.
Yeah, and if the season ended today, he'd be MVP today.
Dude, I hope he stays healthy. because that's been a concern in the past. I hope he stays healthy.
You know how the Philly town is. Philly wants their championship. Their fans are outrageous.
I think as NBA fans, you like to see a good big man because, the NBA kind of went away from the true big man from like back in the day, like the Shaqs and like you were talking about the Kareems. It's really no big man. So you want to see someone like Joel Embiid be successful and with somebody that size that move like Elijah Wan, like
yeah, he's got it going on this year. He's got Philly right up there in first place this year, man.
You know what I mean? So,
but Brooklyn's only a half game behind them. So Brooklyn is steadily climbing, and they've been playing without Durant for the last 6 or 7 games.
Yeah, it's still balling. Yeah,
still balling.
Before we get out the NBA, let's keep it in the East. And I had asked the question: which East team has the best chance to win the championship this year?
Brooklyn.
that was kind of easy.
Ain't hands down. You got 3 scores, and if you remember the Golden State teams, right? What they have? They have Durant, Curry, and the other guard there, the other Splash brother, Thompson.
Yeah, Klay Thompson.
You got 3 scores, right, on that team. That one, and you have 1 good defensive player.
Yeah.
The Nets have the same thing. It's the same thing. They have Kyrie, Harden, Durant. Who's going to stop those threes in the playoffs? If one of them is off, the other two are going to be hot.
Well, Harden has been known not to show up sometime in the playoffs, so I wouldn't put on Durant and Kyrie, but Harden, that's the one I'm looking at. Like,
but if he can go off for 40 or 50 any night.
Yeah, that's true. Same with Durant.
Yeah, those guys. I mean, if they learn how to play a little defense in the playoffs, then there's no one stopping that team. And they did it, and they got Harden over there so they can beat LeBron. and I don't think LA's coming out of the West so far this year.
Man, you bring that up. There was this parody from this kid on social media called Supreme Dream, and he made a parody of seeing when Harden went to Brooklyn. He's like, what am I, he pretended to be LeBron and he's just going off. He's like, what am I supposed to do? Harden, Durant, Kyrie, how am I supposed to beat that? You know what I mean?
You can't.
And I think LeBron was probably, he was like, oh. In real life, LeBron was probably like, oh. God,
here we go again. I had to face the Warriors.
First the Warriors. Now I gotta worry about come out west. Then I come out west. Now I gotta worry about a team out east. Like can't catch a break.
They better worry about their own conference. That's what they worry about. Because they don't have AD, they in trouble.
Yeah. But I think all this, like those series, like between the Cavs and the Warriors, and back then when LeBron was on the Heat and he went against the Mavericks and the Spurs, I think it made he's such a better player now than he was back then when he was winning those championships.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think he's so much wiser in what he's still so dominating when he's in the game. But like you were just saying, without AD, man, I don't know how far.
He ain't gonna win no championship with Kuzma and all those other guys that are down there that are trying to make him.
Schroeder. Schroeder's a pretty good point guard.
Schroeder's doing his thing. Doing his thing, but he ain't gonna win a title down there with them boys.
Yeah, he definitely needs AD, man. But yeah, man, it's a lot going on in the NBA, man. We can go on an NBA all freaking day, but we got
you ain't lying.
we got some NFL topics I want to get into, bro. And one thing that's been like the number one topic in the NFL for like the past month, if not longer, has been Deshaun Watson. It's every day you turn on ESPN, Fox Sports, Deshaun Watson. And we have the question here: are the Texans holding Deshaun Watson hostage? Do you think that's what's going on here? Or do you think that, because they just we're gonna bring up a former Texan in a second, but they let one guy on defense go,
Right.
You know, he's an older player and everything.
Right.
But Deshaun Watson asked for his trade way before, you know, any of that. So do you think that could be what's going on? Or you think they're just trying to find the best deal for the franchise?
Yeah, you got the latter one right. I think they're trying to find the best deal for the franchise. If they do get rid of him, they're trying to trade him for picks and all that stuff. But I tell you one thing, though. I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back and is playing in Houston again this year.
I don't think that's going to. I don't think he's going to.
I don't know if that might happen. Which is it's maybe a 2% chance, a 3%, 5% chance of that happening, because he definitely said he wants out. He doesn't like the organization. He doesn't like the general managers. He doesn't like the way that the club is going.
Well, they're not including him. They're not including him when it comes to, you know, building a team around him. And come on, not these days. You can't do that. Your quarterback is too important to ignore him like that and to ignore his wishes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And some other teams that we thought were going to trade for him are like Miami was one of them, for example. That was one of his destinations. And Miami said, Tua's our quarterback.
Yeah.
The Raiders, another team, my team, were like, there was rumors going around there. No, Mayock came out yesterday and he said, Derek Carr's our quarterback.
Well, Gruden, you know, he's going to stick with who he.
Yeah, he said that's our quarterback. So there's other teams that I don't know that might be interested in him, or a lot of teams will be interested in him. But it's the problem trying to get them picks and trying to make the trade.
The money is.
Yeah, that's outrageous. That's another thing that
he just got that contract last year. You know.
Yeah. So that's another thing.
You know,
so what do you do, Marcus? Does he sit out or does he?
Well, in my opinion, if they can move Wentz, and now it's big money. That was a big contract. I think they can get some assets they can get something back. I believe you can get some, maybe 1 or 2 first rounders for. That's how good Deshaun Watson is. In my opinion.
Oh yeah, Deshaun Watson is way better than
a good team. I say if you say you just brought up Miami, take 2 off, put Deshaun Watson in. I think they're in the Super Bowl. I think Deshaun. They need a few more pieces on offense.
All right, Marcus.
They need a few more pieces
about the Miami Dolphins, Marcus.
Yeah, we're talking about the Dolphins.
I don't know.
That's why people are bringing it up, because people see the upside. People see the Dolphins defense. They see where the offense can go. You know.
I don't know about Super Bowl. I'd say they definitely make
AFC Championship
playoffs.
AFC Championship.
They might get to the AFC Championship with Deshaun.
I think Deshaun Watson is that good. You can go deep in the playoff. That's just, you know, I just like the kid. I always pick him on my fantasy teams. I have like 3 or 4 fantasy teams. If I have 4 fantasy teams, he's on at least 2 or 3 of them. You know what I mean? I really like
points, huh?
Getting those points. He's dependable. He's a dependable quarterback.
We'll see what happens with him, though. We'll see. I mean, it's up in the air right now. We don't know where he's going to land. We don't know what's going to happen in the draft. Maybe they'll trade him for draft picks, stuff like that. But we'll see.
I think he's worth first round draft picks. If you.
Hey, Dallas would be a good fit for him too.
Well, we're gonna get to somebody in Dallas after we get to the second part of the NFL. We're gonna get to the main thing and what's going on in Dallas. But talking about, you know, the Texans, they just had the veteran guy on defense, J.J. Watt. You know, they let him go, and now Watt is on the Cardinals. And it kind of, he is reunited with Hopkins. So do you think this make the Cardinals better on defense?
It makes them a little better. Not a lot better.
Right.
Because the Watts is on the decline. He's been hurt. He gets hurt every year now. He misses a few games, this and that. So he's on the decline. The best thing about that is that he can teach all those Arizona Cardinal defensive players some tricks and groom them into being a better team. Mm-hmm. I personally think he's done. He's signed 2 years. I think that's what he's going to play for.
Oh, he's been, those guys that size, they get injured. He's
done. He's on the decline. And I mean, it was a good pickup for Arizona, but let's not forget the division that Arizona's in. They got to battle San Francisco. San Francisco's getting all their players back this year.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That COVID stuff hit them hard last year. Yeah. Garoppolo's coming back. You got the Rams now over there with their new quarterback, Matthew Stafford. They're going to be tough. They got that defense. You still got Seattle with Russell Wilson. That division is tough, bro. That division ain't no joke.
You just sit here today. I'm like, man, I can't wait. And it's only in March, man. When is September gonna get here, man? When is September going? Like this is a struggle. That's why I wish one of these smaller leagues wouldn't have went under. When you talk about the XFL and the other league that was started, because this long drought without football, man. Like, you just got me hyped.
Yeah, we gotta have our football, man.
You just got me hyped, and it's not even August and September yet. And I'm
that division, man. Woo!
I'm ready for the season, man. But you say the Cardinals are a little better, but I kind of
they'll be the same Cardinals. They'll be 8-8, 8-8, 7-9, 9-7 if they overachieve. But in that division, you got to play ball. You got to play at least 5 games in that division.
If that's still going to be in their record, then Kingsbury going to be in a little hot water there. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, man. You were talking about Watson, possibly going to Dallas would be a good fit. We're going to talk about we're going to talk about the quarterback in Dallas because he's my guy. He's my guy. We got the question I asked. Is Dak asking for too much? Because the rumor is that he wants Mahomes money.
Well, he ain't gonna get that. Let's just put it out there right now, Marcus. He ain't gonna get that. But I tell you what, Dallas should have paid Dak Prescott a long time ago.
Well, they tried to, remember last season. Yeah, not this past season, but season before, the 2019 season, he passed on the contract because he wanted to have more money than Wentz and Goff. And that's understandable. You want more money than them because those guys, even though Goff went to a Super Bowl with the Rams, it was more about
because of the defense.
That was the system. That was the defense. You know what I mean? So that's what you have with that. But man, I'm like, Dak is my guy, but dude, I'm like, if he would have made it to the Super Bowl, then I could understand him wanting that type of money. But dude, like
Dak Prescott is a good quarterback.
He is.
He's a good quarterback.
Yes.
The reason the Cowboys have been stinking is because they got no defense.
Defense has gone down. Which in previous years you were raving about their defense.
Yes, they got no defense.
And their offense wasn't. But now the offense,
they can light up the scoreboard.
That's what I'm saying. The offense is on point, and well, not this past season, not like they should have been, but previous seasons the offense on point, and now this year the defense was horrible. So.
Well, Jerry Jones too might feel sorry for him after he had the leg injury, this and that. He'll come back this year. He'll give him some money, but he's not getting Mahomes money.
Mahomes, you talking about almost half a
450.
billion.
Yeah,
you talking about almost a half a billion. You talking?
Yeah, half a billion. Yeah, no.
I don't know, but I mean, I think he deserves to be paid more than what.
But if Deshaun Watson goes to Dallas, though,
with those weapons, they got to work on defense. But with those weapons, you're talking about probably 40-point games.
And you get the Ezekiel Elliott and you fix that offensive line.
That O-line.
You fix that O-line.
That's another part of the team you used to brag on was that offensive line.
The best, some of the best offensive lines ever have come out of those Cowboys.
This season they weren't that. So hopefully they can get that fixed, that in the defense, because I don't know. I do say Dak deserves to be paid more than Wentz and Goff, but I don't know about the Mahomes money. I don't know about that, brother.
That's crazy.
I don't know about that, but yeah, man. We can talk about that.
Here's some news. Former Raider wide receiver Terrell Williams, who used to play for the San Diego Chargers before they turned to LA and signed with us, and he was hurt. The Detroit Lions have signed him for 1 year, $6.2 million.
Oh, okay.
So he's over in with the Lions now, and the Lions also making moves too. Their cornerback Desmond Trufant.
Yeah.
Is the Lions are saying they're going to release him. Oh. So Yeah, after that they will release him at the start of the year. So there's another guy that's pretty good, not too bad, pretty good that can help another team, man.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have up in these coming days, man, a lot of things. Big Ben signs with the Steelers again, which I think was a mistake. Because they don't. I mean, I think he's been over the hill. He's been done.
I think they looked at that first part of the season. You know, I think it was the first 9 games or so, and they went undefeated, and then it just
Marcus.
Or were they 11-0? I forget.
Yeah, something like 10-0, 11-0.
Yeah, and then it just went.
Then
down,
they started playing real teams, and they started getting beat. That's what happened. Because they were playing Windsor Locks, Bristol Central. They were playing Maloney, Meriden, all them other teams.
You said Windsor Locks. You have to be from Connecticut.
Some teams, Marcus, and they started losing.
To the listeners, you have to be from Connecticut to understand.
CT baby in the house.
You know what I'm saying? But I get what you saying, man. But I think they want to be different, and maybe they want Roethlisberger to retire.
They're gonna draft a quarterback. I bet you the Steelers draft a quarterback this year out of the draft. Ain't too many good. I mean, there's a couple of good ones available.
Yeah.
But, I think they'll go quarterback draft.
Well, he took a pay. He take a pay cut, right? He took a pay cut, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, they have some extra money. So we'll see how they do. Are they able to bounce back?
Well, he reduced his pay from 19 million to 14 million.
Okay, yeah. So he gave up.
So I mean, it's $5 million a little different. They can go get somebody else, or you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, he'll be all right.
Yeah.
The Broncos, Von Miller situation out there.
Yeah, his contract. What's going on with the?
They want him back. Sources say that the Broncos do want Von Miller back. The general manager was talking about that. They're trying to work out something out there. There's another guy. I think that he's good, but he's declining. I think he's had his years. And then he had that injury, so it's tough to come back in the NFL with injuries and stuff like that. So we'll see what that happens. Hey, did you know that Tom Brady's rookie card sold for $1.32 million?
Are you serious? Wow.
Yeah. His rookie card.
Wow. Wow. Lucky person that had that. You call a little of the Canelo fight?
Yeah, boring. People wasted their money. It went 4 rounds. It should have been stopped in the 2nd round, 3rd round. The guy was no match for him. No match whatsoever.
I heard about the fight and I couldn't remember. I'm like, is it this weekend or whatever? I just didn't. And like when it's not a name, I'm not really, or if it's not a up and comer young fighter that I've seen before, I just don't, it just doesn't appeal to me. So I didn't even bother to check it out live.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people just watched it just because it was Canelo, and they wasted their money.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I didn't care too much for it. I saw him when he stopped him. The guy looked beat up. He looked so beat up that they stopped the fight. They just like, yo, dude, you're not going out there no more to get beat up.
Yeah. So I don't know what is his whole deal with him and just not getting the fight because I guess he's with the Zone. He's signed to them. And they're just putting together these fights. It just seems like it's Canelo's network,
Right. That's it. That's basically what it is. It's his network.
Because he left Golden Boy, so
he's making the money. So yeah.
I don't, it's like, come on, man. Like let's get back to what boxing is about. I understand you about your money, but let's get to the fights the people want to see.
Right.
Like we touched on this last week. Let's get to those fights. You know what I mean? Freaking, it's just I don't know, but we can leave that fight alone, and we could preview. Go right into the UFC this weekend, bro. It's UFC 259.
Yes, sir.
Got 2 big fights on that card. You got Amanda Nunes versus Megan Anderson, and you got the Adesanya fight. I'm interested in both these fights here. It's crazy that these days when we see Amanda Nunes on the card, we get excited like oh John, what's she gonna do this time? You know what I mean?
Yo, that's Nunes is a man in a woman's body.
Basically, that's the only way you
that's
can.
That's the only way I can just sum her up.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to be a Godzilla for a woman to go in there and beat her, because she's not going to lose. Exactly. If she loses, it's by some kind of miracle that happened, or she hurt herself, or broke a leg by herself, or something. That I'm scared of that girl. I think I would run the other way if I saw her coming down a dark alleyway and she's coming. I think I'd run the other way.
Run the other way, right, bro? Like,
I run. I'm sprinting.
Her jiu-jitsu and her wrestling and her striking, everything. She's just a perfect, athlete.
Marcus,
talk about how dangerous.
Marcus, she cleaned up 2 divisions.
Exactly, and
went through it like it was nothing. Anybody that came, Ronda Rousey, this one, that one,
with barely a mark on her face. You know what I mean? Oh, we lost him there, folks. He went out there. We're going to get into a few other things, but Randy went out there. He's going to have to figure out that all his Wi-Fi situation. I wanted to talk a little bit more about the UFC and those fights, but I'm looking forward to checking that out tomorrow night. This past week, before we get out of here, I'm just going to mention a couple more things we had this past week. This past Wednesday, you had Shaquille O'Neal getting in a wrestling ring, with AEW, All Elite Wrestling, and actually taking bumps, meaning, he was taking those high impact maneuvers that wrestlers get hurt. And, he took some high impact maneuvers, bumps there. And it was kind of cool seeing, Shaq, he was going against Dusty Rhodes' son, Cody, who's a big star. And that was cool to see that. And, yeah, man, it was just crazy seeing Shaquille O'Neal in the wrestling ring, which I thought was cool. So I thought I'd bring that up. But we got the NBA. Before I get out of here, we got the NBA All-Star Weekend coming up. You got All-Star. I guess it's All-Star Sunday with the skills challenge, 3-point contest, slam dunk contest, and later in the evening you got the NBA All-Star game, and the list of the starters were pretty cool to me, man. Even though, like we were talking about earlier, wish it could go back to that format, East versus West. But looking at the starters, when you talk about, well, of course, yesterday was the All-Star Game draft, and LeBron James and Kevin Durant got to be the ones to pick the players. And on Team LeBron, the starting 5 is Steph Curry, Luka Doncic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, LeBron James, and Nikola Jokic. Like that's an impressive. And then when you look at Team LeBron, just on the bench, you got Damian Lillard, Ben Simmons, Chris Paul, Jaylen Brown from my Celtics, Paul George, Domantas Sabonis, and you got Rudy Gobert. Then with Team Durant, you got the starters. You got Kyrie, you got Bradley Beal, you got Jason Tatum from the Celtics, you got Kawhi Leonard, and you got Joel Embiid. And then off the bench, this is crazy. Off the bench, you got James Harden, Devin Booker, Zach LaVine, Donovan Mitchell, Zion Williamson. You got Julius Randle, and you got the Orlando Magic's Nikola Vucevic. So, I mean, it's going to be an interesting weekend. It's going to be an interesting weekend. And, of course, whatever college ball is on, I'm going to be checking out. We got the Big East tournament next week. So I'm excited about that, to see what UConn does on that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, whatever you're watching, make sure you're watching something good and something fun. You know what I mean? And before we get out of here, if you like the show, make sure you subscribe, comment, and share wherever you listen to your podcast. Whether it's Apple, whether it's Spotify, wherever you happen to listen to it. Make sure you subscribe to Tough as Balls. And on all our social media, make sure you follow us on Twitter, on Instagram, and on Facebook at Tough as Balls. And I'm losing my train of thought here, which is crazy. And make sure if you want to get at the show that you email the show at toughasballs@gmail.com. That's toughasballs@gmail.com. Like I said before, make sure you subscribe, comment, and share wherever you listen to your podcast on your favorite podcast platform. And
yes, sir.
On all our social media. All right.
Yes.
This has been, there he is before we get out of here. Man, get your Wi-Fi fixed, bro.
I don't know what it is. I'm gonna have to record from the inside.
Man, stop trying to be cool. Hey, for the freaking Puerto Rican, I'm your boy, Mark Brown, and we are out of here, baby. Peace.
Peace.
Living G4 class, now we touch the sky. In the meantime, we keep on making moves. In this limelight, you always gotta show and prove. If we fall down, we get back up again. It's the will inside the battle to the very end. Green light, watch that green light. Man, I